Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Tyler Perry is probably best known for his comedies, but his thrillers are really what get this guy. In his new film, Acrimony, Perry and his stars Taraji P, Henson and Lyriq Bent take on the fatal attraction genre and do it some fun, nasty justice. Let's take a look at the trailer.
You don't know what he did to me. You don't know.
He was so charming, so slick. Forever. That's what he said. Do you know the last thing a woman wants to hear about her man is that he's cheating on her?
Every time a black woman gets mad, she's a stereotype. Sick and tired of hearing that.
You still messing around with her?
I'm Diana, Robert's fiance.
Maybe he did mean what he said. Maybe the deceit isn't what you think.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I want to offer you prayer.
I would save my prayers for the wedding day.
Please welcome Tyler Perry, Taraji P. Henson, and Lyriq Bent.
Oh my God, it's Taraji! It's Taraji!
Thanks so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Y'all got to get some bigger chairs in this, man.
I know.
Dude, I'm 6'6", 275 pounds. I mean, come on. But
You know, I didn't even notice it when you first sat down. You're so specific, having attention to detail. You sat down, you said, these goddamn little chairs. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
I didn't
Oh,
say
you didn't?
GD. I don't say GD. I said these no. Let's
Talk about Acrimony. This movie is so much fun. It's so great, an incredible performance. Two great performances. I love the twist in the middle when we finally get to the two of them.
You think it's fun? It's not a comedy.
It's not a comedy, but I love a good thriller. I have fun at thrillers.
Good.
Where did you get the idea for this film? What made you want to tackle a marriage like this?
Gone Girl, watching a true artist at work like David Fincher, who she's worked with too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, David was amazing.
Benjamin Button, right?
Yeah, Benjamin Button. Oscar nominated for Benjamin Button.
Excuse me, weren't you not nominated for that
She was
film?
nominated for Benjamin Button. That's right. So the working with him on Gone Girl, I said, you know, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to throw my hand in at a thriller. So I wanted to do something like this for a while, and Taraji was the only person I wanted to do it with, and it all worked out. So it's really great.
Right. What was it like, sort of constructing the film? I love the way that it follows this first half, and then the second half where we go from the young to the old. I don't want to give too much away, but I was constantly wondering, when are we going to get to Taraji coming in, or are we going to stick to this young couple? What was it like writing that?
It was really great because what is important to me is I wanted to tell the evolution of the story. So I think that Taraji was her entering, the character Melinda entering, was much more effective after we had went on the journey with them when they were younger. So to jump 18 years later in their life, and it's really crazy and intense, and they're still waiting for this man's dream to come true, you feel like, man, I've been on this journey with them since they were kids. So that's why I wanted to do it that way.
What's the difference for you between directing a thriller like this or directing one of your comedies? Is there a difference in terms of the amount of effort that you have to put in, or what you're doing with the camera, or do you find it to be like the same parts of your brain that you're using?
Oh, completely. You are beautiful. She is beautiful. You're beautiful. She's stunning. She's stunning. My eyes are like a camera. I catch beautiful people. But no, the difference in the comedy is comedies are what they are. I mean, Medea is what it is. That's easy. That's second hat. That is what it is. But
like
when
a moving train, you just jump on
and like everybody, come on, let go. We got it. But a movie like this, you know, there's a style to it. There's a rhythm to it. There's lighting to it. There's a whole nother feel that has to go into it. And I was very particular about the feel, the way it looked, the darkness of it. Everything was so important all the way from beginning to end. When I'm doing a Medea film, it's just about, okay, let's just make everybody laugh. Yeah.
You can really see that in the, especially in the cinematography and the lighting of the film and the camera work. Taraji and Lyriq, both of your characters, a very subjective film, as we were saying earlier, where you can kind of be for one or the other and who you kind of stand with. So I'd imagine for both of you as actors, your character is the hero of the film in some way. Would you say that, Taraji, or did you view her as maybe a villain?
I mean,
the perspective shifts.
It doesn't shift.
Because
So
it's told from her point of view in the
at the
first,
beginning,
at the
she's the
beginning,
hero, and then you find out maybe her story isn't all that
Or is she?
true.
She's an unreliable narrator, as they say, potentially.
Yeah. Did you notice when she stopped narrating?
The truth came to that. But even as I was writing the movie, I wanted to be sure that we were following her story first, because she's sitting there with the therapist and you're following her story. And it's like, okay, this is her story and this is awful. He did what? Girl, you know how you get on the phone with somebody and they be like, hey, he did what? Oh, you will not take that. And then you realize, wait a minute, is this all true? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for the audience to see there is one side of the story, the other side, and the truth. And so you guys get to go on the journey. In the beginning, you really are going to be on Melinda's side. You know, she reels you in.
And some people might still be on her side at the end of the film. It all depends on your perspective on your own relationship and how you see yourself or somebody you know. Some people don't really tell the truth when it comes to themselves. So it all depends on the individual watching. I think you could watch this film and not know who the protagonist or the antagonist is. So it's a good journey.
And then there are people who believe their own truth. Melinda really believes her story. She in her own mind, this is exactly the way it went. And I've unfortunately I've run into people like that.
Yeah.
You have a,
Why are you looking at me?
I just said, unfortunately, I've run into people like that.
I'm not
Then I-
Melinda.
and
It's
immediately
Taraji.
shifted your gaze to
Then I
Taraji.
gave
So
you
tell
a
me
nice,
how.
pleasant smile. That was it. Calm down.
So I want to hear your story of what it was like on set with Tyler, then Taraji.
We have a lot of fun. We play around a lot, and we know, particularly for me, when the subject matter is so heavy, I have to laugh because I'll slip my wrist. I mean, I can't. This woman is complex. I could not walk in her shoes every day, all day. You know, just for work, and then I take those shoes off.
Not even for where, like, only the scene.
The scene.
Like she would be in the scene so deep, in tears and crying, and I'd say, okay, all right, cut. And the whole crew would be real quiet. And be like, oh my God, that was so amazing. She'd be like, all right, I need some wine and some crab legs. Y'all, come on, y'all, let's go get something so I can get a drink.
Everybody's gonna think I'm a drunk after this.
No, they won't.
No.
You have a line in the film that felt so specific to something that someone would write for you. I was wondering if you did, and it was like, I can be the motherfucking devil. Did you, when you wrote that, did you write that for, did you just
I didn't
know
hear
she
the
said
MO.
that?
I didn't hear the mofo in that.
Yeah,
think she did. Yeah, she
yeah.
did.
We had a debate about that.
Really?
Because the line was simply, you know me. And I yelled it out in the background.
He does that.
I'll yell, because I'm watching, like, as an audience member, and this is what I want to hear her say. You know I can be the MF the devil.
She said that?
She said it. Yeah.
I thought she just said, you know I can be the devil.
They had to bleep it out of the trailer.
Oh, they bleep.
For obvious reasons.
But in the movie, yeah.
I say it in the movie.
I'm going to have to watch it again.
Did you love saying that line? It's such a great line.
It was weird for me to say. Yeah, it was.
Isn't it powerful, though?
Yeah, it's
See,
great.
as an audience member, he was with me. Yeah. And then when she saw it, she's like, Tyler, you was right.
I wasn't debating you. It just was weird for me to say that, you know.
A lot of people think that Taraji's that character because she plays it so well. She's a goofball. So
I really am.
she's not really.
You're so good at playing a badass.
I am.
She's
Yeah.
because she's talented.
But can play anything. I think the problem with anybody underestimating Taraji is that she'll shift from Hidden Figures to Proud Mary to this character to a 99-year-old woman. I mean, she has range wherever you put her. Oh, that's where you want me to be. If you want to put her in outer space, if you want to put her in Black Panther, hello somebody. You want to put her in Black Panther?
I will shave my head.
That's where she should be.
Hey, do you have any friends at Marvel?
I do, quite a few.
Help me out. Help me out, man. Come on.
Okay,
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I was
wanna
working on my
have
next
I
job.
want this deal to happen right
We
here.
want this deal to happen. I'll talk to
First
people.
Marvel deal on the build stage. That would be great. Lyriq, tell us about your character. He's a bit downtrodden when you meet up with him as an actor.
Yeah, when Taraji and I get on the screen, it's about 18 years into the relationship, and you followed that journey, so you feel like you've been on that ride for a long time, and then you see Robert, who's kind of been beaten. He's been stripped of his manhood in terms of, providing, protecting, taking care of, and he's almost at that point where he's now almost in disbelieving that his dreams are going to come true. So he's almost at that point where people could identify with giving up on something because it's not going to happen. He's losing his family. He just has no support. and you feel sad for him. And a lot of people could relate to that themselves, wanting to do something. Most people go through life never living, but just merely existing. And so here's this guy who's going for his dream and who wants to live out this dream. And he's at that brink where he's like about to give up.
I feel like those of us who work in the arts or want to work in the arts can very much
Yes.
relate to a person in that place.
I could relate to Robert in terms of going for your dream and putting on that myopic mask where you just look straight down the tunnel and you have no peripheral vision, and it's tough. You got to put a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication. It's never easy. No one's an overnight success unless you got a silver spoon in your mouth. I don't. So it's been a journey. It's been a
He
sacrifice.
was the easiest one to write. This character was, because that's so close to my own thing. Just the struggle to make it, the struggle to keep going, when it was so dark, and will I keep going, will I keep going? So that character I understand more than anything I've ever written.
When did you sort of break? When did your first movie deal really come through?
I broke long before the movie deal. I did my first play in 1992. 30 people showed up. I thought 1,200 would show up. But in 1998, I started selling out theaters all over the country. So from 98 until about 2005, when the first movie came out, I was hugely successful, selling out the Beacon Theater here and just all over the country before I got to film. So.
But you remember very distinctly what that period of time was like between 92 and 98.
Well, actually from birth to 98, absolutely. Very much. So it was really, really easy for me to relate to him and his struggle and be able to paint the picture. And I love the way Lyriq gave the strength of him, but also it was so sympathetic. So you didn't know where to fall in your belief of him. So yeah.
Taraji, was your character easy or difficult to relate to?
I think we've all, most of us, have had a broken heart. If not, you haven't been in love. And, depending on how the situation ended, like if it didn't end so well or if you felt taken advantage of or cheated on, there is this moment where you want to snap. You feel like you have done something to me, so now I have to do something to you because hurt people. Now, having said that, there are some of us who can talk ourselves off the ledge. And then then there are some of us, they're the reason why we have a show called Snapped. So I've been there. I've had those urges to throw a brick through a window, but I was like, you know what? That could land me in jail, and I don't want to go to jail. So I definitely could identify with her pain, but, I'm the type, I know how to let go. I'll walk away. It's just not worth all of that energy
What's that
for
word
me.
you like to use?
Cut off.
Pew.
Pew. Yeah, that's me.
Pew.
Pew, gone.
Going real fast. Like in the cartoons, all you hear is pew.
Gone Girl should have been Pew Girl.
Pew, girl.
I almost knocked that over, didn't I?
Yeah, it was going to be pew.
Pew.
There's a sequence in the film of Taraji kind of dancing angrily around.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's really great, and it felt like maybe it's a silly comparison, but it felt like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now when he's dancing around the hotel room and smashes a mirror and he's really drunk and it's all dissolving in and out.
Lyriq, I've seen that. Wow.
Lyriq, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's great. I mean, whether you meant to do it or not, I was like, oh, great, we're doing a little Apocalypse Now here. What was it like doing that scene?
It was a lot of fun because he just stood in the shadows and the camera just followed. It was a camera on the track in the back, and then there was a camera that just followed me. Yeah, and then Tyler just I love the way he likes to work because I'm really spontaneous. I'm quick-witted. On my feet, I can think of things really fast, and once I trust the process, I'm uninhibited. And so I let myself go, and I was like kind of in and out because it's a crazed scene. It's almost like she's possessed, yeah. And so a part of me have to let go, like really just let go. So I let go, and I could hear Tyler saying, now do this, and then after a while, I just started doing stuff, and I started breaking glass. Now, you're supposed to have breakaway glass. I was in the moment. You should have put some breakaway glass up there. I'm sorry.
You wasn't supposed to break the real beer bottles.
Well, I was in the zone, Tyler.
I was like, I hope nobody gets cut.
Yeah, it was glass everywhere.
What do you do as a director in that moment? Because you're also directing.
He was
producing,
loving it.
Like, keep rolling. Watch your step. Watch your step. Don't get
instigates
your
that
foot cut.
type of behavior,
Yeah, we're gonna
yes.
get this scene. We're gonna get this scene.
Where did that scene come from in the writing process when you were figuring it out? Just sort of having this character dance around and
It's the music. There's another character in the music, and that's Nina Simone. Like all of her music is throughout the whole movie. And I was as I was writing, I was listening to it, and that on that song, that Sea Lion Woman, I saw her moving in my head, just the madness, and I just all the voices and the craziness running through her head. I Sea Lion Woman. She drink coffee. She drink tea.
Song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We till go home, and I just saw her doing it. It just felt right. So that's where it came from.
And you said that working on Gone Girl was what initially attracted you to this genre. Did you look at previous films in the genre and sort of to figure out your take, or did you know kind of exactly what you wanted?
Listen, everybody's seen Fatal Attraction and loved Fatal Attraction, but this one for me, I had a nucleus of who this woman was, and I wanted to just expand on what was going on in her head, and once I tapped into that, the rest of the story unfolded.
What I love about this compared to something like Fatal Attraction, though, is the ambiguity of the characters. Whereas at the end of Fatal Attraction, you're like, oh, thank God Glenn Close is dead. Like, the family is safe.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry if you haven't seen
spoiler
a movie
alert.
from '86.
Right.
But it's there. With this, it is ambiguous. Right. Was that on your part intentional, sort of a reaction to something like Fatal Attraction?
No, it wasn't a reaction to it, but it was just the way the story unfolded for me. It just because as I was writing her, something didn't feel right. I was like, this doesn't feel true. What is going on? And then when I went to him and started hearing his point of view, I was like, oh wow, there's an imbalance here. So I wanted the audience member to be the therapist. That's why she's invisible. That's why you only hear her voice. Denise, her great voice. The only reason you hear her is because I wanted the audience to be the therapist to make the judgment on who they're talking to in the end of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's get some questions from our audience. Who has a question right here?
Hi, Tyler. Hi, Taraji. Hello. I wanted to ask Tyler, we live in a society today where not all relationships end in a healthy way. And Taraji plays a woman that is beyond scorn. And you writing such a great movie, I wanted to know what are the signs and the triggers that you, in observation of writing this movie, can tell us about that would allow us to say, pew, pretty much.
We would know when it's time to go?
Yes.
You know when it's time to go? That's really, really hard for me because I think it depends on the individual because I think you should stay until you can't take it anymore. But as long as somebody's treating you right and not lying to you, not betraying you, those are reasons to stay. If there are financial reasons and things like that, then you got that's a whole nother conversation. But what I would say to people and what I would challenge them in relationships is to be honest. Communicate all the way through what you like, what you don't like. Had these people been communicating all the way through and not heard the voices of her sister and her family and all those people outside, their relationship probably would have went a lot longer. So be honest and communicate about what you feel, what he feels, how that works out, what that looks like for you, and go forward from there. That's what I would say.
But I also think that communication needs to start a lot sooner than the marriage. It needs to start from like the household, especially in the Black community. We need to learn how to communicate so that when we find ourselves in our own family situation, we actually know how to communicate and we're not uncomfortable with it. And I think that's something that needs to start very, very early.
For sure.
Next question. Hey there.
Hi. What was it like to reconnect in another movie together again?
Great question.
Great. Was it great for you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, I love working with Taraji.
Yeah.
If you see me working with the same people over and over and over again, it's because I love working with them. And these are two people that I would love to work with again and again and again. So it's really wonderful. Good question.
But I'm not in his next film.
She can't be in all the films. The next film
yes,
is
I can.
called The List. It's
But
Tiffany
I'm not on the
Haddish.
list.
It's Whoopi Goldberg, Tika Sumpter, Omari Hardwick. It's a
Sounds
really
like a
funny
lot of
comedy.
women. I could have been one. I'm just saying.
My God.
Question.
What have you thought of Tiffany Haddish's very, very recent ascent and how big of a star she's become so fast?
I'm very proud of her because I have an eye for talent because she was on my show before she was. I don't know if you know this, but she was on If Loving You Is Wrong, which is on OWN before she hit.
I'm nodding like I know. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, but you didn't.
But you know I don't know. That's
Yeah,
why
I know
you keep
didn't
saying
know.
it.
I know you didn't know. It's okay. It's okay. But no, she was on the show, and when I was working with her, I was like, this girl, I don't know what to do with because the show's a drama. But if I had something comedic, it would have been great. But I didn't at the time. So to watch what happened with her in Girls Trip and hit the stratosphere like this, I'm watching her very carefully. I got my hand around her shoulders and around her mouth, a couple of just kind of trying to like guide her through as much as she wants information. But I'm very, very proud of her. I'm so excited for what's happened for a lot of people. You know, Ryan Coogler, Issa Rae, Donald Glover, all these wonderful moments that all these kids are getting. Man, it's really inspiring to me because I've been fighting behind the scenes for a long time for more people to tell their stories, just other than me, and to see this happening is really beautiful.
Next question. This is our last one right here.
Hi, Tyler Perry. So I would like to ask, I know where you get your previous inspiration from, growing in a Black family house. Where do your new inspiration come from? And you pick an awesome, strong female character to just play. Like, where does the source come from?
I'm still growing. And I tell you, all of these people are inspiring me, from Ava DuVernay and all these other. They're all inspiring me to push myself, push the writing, push yourself. Go where you want to go next. So in writing this story, I've got so many that I haven't written because everything, the focus was the business, getting the studio opening, making sure I had big box office, Medea, and all the other stuff. Now it's about, okay, let the artist in you speak. What do you want to say? What do you want to do? And now I'm able to go back, and I have a movie that I wrote about a jazz singer in the 1940s and a Holocaust survivor that I wrote 25 years ago. Now I get a chance to do that. So it's just a beautiful time that I get a chance to go back and do all of that stuff. But inspiration comes all the time. I saw an interview of a woman, not even 30 seconds, and I realized she was so caught up in darkness and the past that she couldn't get over what happened in her relationship, that I knew that I had to write this story. Yeah.
Guys, congratulations on the film. It's so much
Thank
fun.
you very much.
Thank you.
A fun thriller.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you. A fun thriller.
it's called Acrimony. It opens this Friday, right? In theaters everywhere. Everybody give them a round of applause. Let's hear it.
Thank you very much, everybody.